Zayen had always believed he was meant for something great. Ever since he was a child, he dreamed of doing big things, having a successful career, financial freedom, and a life full of adventure. But every day, his reality told a different story. Each morning, the alarm would ring at 8 a.m., sometimes 9, and almost every time he would hit snooze. Just 5 more minutes. That's what he told himself. But 5 minutes turned into 10. 10 turned into 30. And before he knew it, half the morning was gone. He would get up feeling rushed, barely getting ready on time. Breakfast? Skipped. Morning exercise? Non-existent. Instead, he would scroll through his phone, checking notifications, messages, and social media. By the time he actually started his day, he was already behind. The frustration would build up. He knew he could do more, be more, but he never made the effort to change. At night, lying in bed, he would think, tomorrow. Tomorrow will be different. I'll wake up early, I'll be productive. But tomorrow never came, and the cycle continued. The wake-up call. One evening while scrolling through Instagram, something caught his eye. It was a post from his old friend Rayhan, the same Rayhan who, just a few years ago, was just like him, unmotivated, lazy, and always complaining about life. But in this post, Rayhan looked different, confident, successful. His caption read, "Your habits shape your future. Discipline changes everything." Zayen stared at the picture for a long time. Rayhan had transformed. His lifestyle had changed. He was traveling, working on his own business, and seemed genuinely happy. Zayen felt a strange mix of emotions, jealousy, curiosity, and frustration. How did he do it? Without thinking, he opened the chat and messaged him, "Bro, how did you change?" A few minutes later, Rayhan replied, "I wake up at 5 a.m. Zayen frowned. "That was it? 5 a.m.? That's it?" he replied. Rayhan sent another message. "Try it for 30 days. No excuses, just do it. It will change your life." Zayen stared at the message. Could it really be that simple? He had nothing to lose. That night, he set his alarm for 5 a.m. The first attempt failure hits hard. The next morning, his alarm rang. Zayen opened his eyes, groggy and exhausted. The room was dark. The world was silent. His body begged him to go back to sleep. Just 5 more minutes, he thought. He hit snooze. When he woke up again, it was 8 a.m. Failure. He felt guilty but convinced himself that tomorrow he'd do better. The next day, the same thing happened. And the day after that. 3 days in, he was still failing. It was harder than he thought. He messaged Rayhan, "Bro, I can't do this. My body just won't wake up that early." Rayhan replied, "Because you don't want it bad enough. If you did, you would get up no matter how tired you are." Zayen read that message over and over again. Was that true? Was he just making excuses? He thought about his dreams, his frustrations, his regrets. Then he made a decision. No more excuses, no more failure. Tomorrow, I will get up, no matter what. The breakthrough. Fighting the mind. The next morning, when the alarm rang at 5 a.m., he was ready. He felt the same exhaustion, the same pull to go back to sleep. But this time, he forced himself up. His body resisted. His mind begged him to stop, but he kept moving. He splashed cold water on his face. He did 10 push-ups to wake up his body. And for the first time in years, he was awake before the world. It felt strange. The world was quiet. No distractions, no messages, no rush. For the first time, he had time for himself. That morning, He exercised for 30 minutes. He read a book for 15 minutes. He planned his goals for the day. By the time 8 a.m. arrived, the time he used to wake up, he had already won half the day. And that feeling, addictive. The 30-day challenge. A new identity. The next few days were still hard, but he kept going. Day after day, waking up at 5 a.m. became a habit. He started noticing changes. More energy during the day, more focus in his work, more confidence in himself. He was no longer wasting time, no more mindless scrolling, no more rushing through the day, no more feeling stuck. For the first time in his life, he felt in control. By the end of 30 days, something incredible had happened. Zayen was not the same person anymore. He was more productive, disciplined, and mentally stronger. He became the person he always wanted to be. The life-changing realization. One evening, he looked at himself in the mirror. The person staring back at him was not the old Zayen. His posture was different. His face looked more confident. His energy was on another level. He had finally escaped the cycle. And it all started with one decision: to wake up at 5 a.m. Final message: your time starts now. Zayen had finally learned the truth. Success isn't about luck. It's not.